give up your own language and you learn in a foreign language, you don't understand how much of your inherent personality you are giving up. So this is something that when he says it's so, and he says once you have a certain command over your mother tongue, then you can learn as many languages as you want and you'll be good at it. But if you start with a foreign language and you never get to know your language, you are giving up such a huge part of you. You don't understand that. Then he gave an example. He says, you know what? So suppose I said, he says, now we learn in school. A for apple, then B for boy, C for cat. Then he says F for fan. So you just repeat. He says, now a little boy sitting in Ladakh where it is freezing cold. He has never seen fan in his life. So he's just repeating F for fan, and he has no clue what he's talking about. Look at this mind. It's so different. Do you understand? Then he says that that's why people can't relate. Then, so he says, then what? This whole curriculum that is given to you, now it came from a born, some lay born. Now, where did they get that from? They got it from Delhi. Where did Delhi get it from? Delhi got it from some archaic system which was like what during British time. What was that system? They got it from there. And how is it relevant to our lives? The Ladakhis had no clue. So there he said that the exams, right? They had exams and the passing rate at SSC or whatever, that ICSE or whatever, was 10%. So low. Why? Because people could relate to what. And he says, it's not that they are not smart, but what was taught was not something which was relevant to them. People couldn't figure out what is it that they are made to learn. So he says, I have to change the way, I have to make this study relevant to the kids, where they actually begin to discover. So he said that I came up with a method. And what is the method? That you, instead of saying that, the seed you plant and then what, then the tree will come up. So what I made them plant the seed and water it and let they will watch the sprouts and then they begin to see the intelligence that is there in this universe. They come out, and how they come out, they become sensitive. So the learning is not only head, it is with hands and it is with heart. When the learning is not only all in your head, but it is with your hands and heart, you begin to see the world differently.
This is what Dharacharya used to make the kids do. When they were ABCs, every day they would bring something to class that was that thing. So they would tell you pizza, they would eat it, and they would learn P. That's it.
Tell us more about this.
So then he said that so with this 3H, what? Head, hands and heart. Then he says people started learning so much faster. Then over some 5-10 years, the results went up from 10% to 75%. So then he says, wow, it's not that people are not intelligent, it is that what our education system is failing us. Then he says that even within this now, for 10% of the people, 25% who are still out, I can't write them off. I can't say that they are incapable of learning. I have to say that A, we are not teaching them the way they like to learn. So I have to be innovative. And I have to, because they have a different way of learning, so I have to figure it out and I have to cater to them rather than writing them off. This is amazing. Then he says, okay, now let's see what we are learning in school, how outdated it is. So he says, now learning economics, for example. He says the economics that we are learning from school, even today we are talking about growth rates, inflation, employment, right? What is the main thing about a country's economy? Growth. And how is this growth? What is this growth model?
Consumption.
Absolutely. It's consumption based. Consumption based means you buy more and you buy more and you buy more and you buy more. That will give growth, right? He says if you really look at the situation that the earth is today, the more and more consumption there means more and more drawing from the resources. And you will deplete the resources so fast that we will have no earth to live. So see, we are still taught the same, the economy is talking about the same, they don't actually re-look at the world.
No, it's fine when everybody was at the bottom and there was no
Absolutely. So that's what he said.
That
it was
theory
fine
makes sense,
at
but
those
it doesn't
times.
make sense
Exactly.
now in
Superb.
the US.
So he says it made sense at the time of Industrial Revolution because people didn't have anything and they needed to, and it was, but now it doesn't make sense. And we are still
Makes sense in Africa.
going on exactly.
No,
Some
now there's
cases.
too much and
Now it is
distribution
too
the
much
problem.
and exactly superb. So now it is not actually superb. So he came to that. So he says, just 1 minute, let me not finish his ideas because I myself heard only once. So I'm struggling to recall his ideas. So let me go ahead with that. Okay? So now, what Chirag is saying is absolutely true. Then he says, right now, it's not production which is a problem, it is the distribution which is a problem. So he says we have to use this another economic principle and re-understand it. What is that? Diminishing marginal utility. What is that? Diminishing marginal utility. What does it say? That when you have, suppose Navrata is this amazing food out there that everybody is waiting for at a shop. So you have the first bite.
Great.
The first, what she has made? Koki. Yeah. Koki, the first koki that you have, it will give you a lot of pleasure. But the second koki that you have will what? Diminishing. It will not give you that much pleasure. So after the 3, you will say, I can't take it anymore.
That's in life everywhere.
So that means, it's everything. Now, please, so that means there is this thing which is called diminishing marginal returns. It says, how do you use it? So how do you use it? Let me remember guys.
Breaking my train of thought.
Okay, so what he says, how do I use it? This is a fact. How do I use it? So he says that when I buy, this is literally what he said, that the 21st pair of shoes that I buy, what is my marginal return?
Lesser.
Much less than
The first
the
place.
first or the first, second or the third or fourth. So that means, he says, if I want to live in a society where there is the biggest overall welfare, what would I do? Instead of consuming it, I would
Give it to the guy.
give it to the guy
to
who
get the
doesn't
maximum
have
maximum.
even one.
And
What am I doing?
We get the maximum return.
Excellent. He will get the maximum return from there. So what am I doing to the overall well-being?
Happy.
I am contributing to the overall wellness of the society through my actions, because that pair is what hardly doing anything to it.
But he's also asking you to re-evaluate
Re-
how you measure economic growth now.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it
Absolutely.
is the carbon footprint.
So what he's saying is, he's not saying stop consuming. What he's saying is what, because but then there is a distribution. There has to be a redistribution.
We waste in
That
the
way.
US, but we starve in Africa, and
Absolutely.
we redistribute
Redistribute.
everything.
Right
and then
now,
what you said
the
is re-evaluate your economic progress based on the redistributed wealth.
Exactly.
But you know, all that.
And
also the
that will
intangible,
also
which is the marginal
increase,
utility.
exactly, and that will increase the overall well-being. Do you understand?
But people are very smart, you know, like after countries like the US or even well-off people in India, whatever, you've achieved maximum physical consumer benefit, right? You have everything that you need. So now it's become
Happiness.
experiential gifting. Now we don't give gifts, we gift a massage voucher. Then you gift a holiday. So these are all methods of sucking
Yeah.
into the marketing, it's nothing else, right?
Even the
So
clothing.
it goes on and
Exhibitions coming out now.
Yeah, and it's just
Khadi and
But
You
that's
have to
still a
know
very
the
small sliver of
Yeah,
it.
it is.
For example, US wants to export its garbage instead of its food.
Yeah.
You know,
There's
these are bigger
recycling
problems.
rights.
And we will send all our trash to Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Bangladesh is thinking, wow, I will recycle the trash. I'll become the world's largest. But you're going to get screwed. Your water source will get spoiled. Or
This I know. Then,
the massage is good. Somehow will get a job.
okay, guys, I want to remember because I'll forget. What is the time?
10:20.
10:20. Okay, but it's true. All this he was addressing. So then what he was saying is, so that means all this is updated. Then he says that the education also has to solve the present day problems. So he gave an example. So these are some of the ways to solve the problems. Then he says that in Ladakh, what happens is there is snow in winter, and in April, May, there is drought. Drought means when there is agriculture, then the snow has melted, there is no water available. So he says, on one hand, we have so much snow, but when we actually need water, there is no water. So he says, how do I solve this problem? So that means what he says is education has to be connected to understanding present day problems and solving them. And not just going on with some theories which are totally outdated. And we live our lives totally unconnected to the reality in front of us. He was making big points. Simple, concrete examples. So now, what did he do? What he did is that this water, he says, he used mechanical engineering, he is a degree in mechanical engineering to solve the problem. He says when the snow is flat, it will melt.
Right.
But if you create a pyramid, then what will happen is that the sun rays, it will take longer to penetrate, and therefore instead of the ice, the snow melting in March, it will remain till April, May, when they need water. So this is what we call what just is. So then he says that I started that and it's amazing. It has solved the problem of drought and lack of agriculture in Ladakh. Then he said something else. He says now, but this kind of a solutions that we have, right? They are mitigating the problem, but they are not actually going to solve in the long run unless the whole world participates. So he says that actually now the world has to learn. I don't want any financial contribution, but I want to spread this idea of better distribution and problem solving, living education which will solve present day problems rather than propagate theories which don't apply anymore. So he says that this whole climate change and all, then he started talking about it. He says, what can each one of us do concretely to solve that problem? So he says that, okay, we are using solar panels and all that instead of this other. He says, but that's also, it's okay. But what I would like is a little change in lifestyle. He says that how much we have created civilization where we stay up till 2 or 3 and we need lights, we need air conditioning and all that. But what is the natural cycle of a human being? To sleep early, right? By maybe 10 and get up early so that you draw from the natural sunlight. You don't need anything, and that is also good for your whole system and your health, and you are in harmony with nature. Says in any species, what is their cycle? What is their cycle? They go to bed after sunset, not too late, and get up early. And what we have done is we have totally lost touch with the natural cycles, and we consume so much. And what happens? It also has cost on us because our bodies are going through so much.
Actually, such a simple solution, but
Yeah.
but such thought that yes, that will affect.
So he says,
I
on
can
the
observe
other hand, we have all kinds of ailments and all that because we have so totally disconnected ourselves with natural cycles.
Or their intermittent fasting, you know, is
This
naturally.
again coming back, this intermittent fasting, it all comes under some fad, but it is actually what? It is the most natural rhythms that you have to follow.
I just want
Now, just 1 minute. So, and then he says that the other thing, what else can you do? He says what? That stop using elevators, lifts. So what, when you walk, not only it's good for you, but it saves so much energy. Just simple things that you can do in your own way. If everybody starts doing it, what it can actually really majorly shift the whole the way we all live, and also on all the problems that we face today. So this is what is that. Look at this, that a mind which is not influenced by the whole trend, that is the mind which is able to think personally. And you may or may not agree with him, you may subscribe to what he's saying, you may not subscribe to it. That's not the point. He has thought about it. That is the point. He has thought about it. He's not totally influenced by every other. What all of us, what happens is we get totally influenced. We have lost track of that capability of fundamental thinking. And he has overcome that fear. People, all these CEOs were sitting, they may think what they are trying to push their products. One is from Hindustan Liver and the other one is from this and that and Swiggy and this and that, and they want to give more food and whatever. They're all sitting in the audience and he has no fear. They want to get him to consume more and make it more convenient for you and deliver more so that you can have that one little cup of coffee without. So that you see, and all the strategies of how to do that, and here he is standing and he's saying exactly what he thinks. And who are people listening to more? When Sonam was talking, everybody was like that. And when other CEOs were talking about all these strategies and all, people were like watching their mobile and all. I mean, it's not that they were not smart. They were smart, right? It's not like I don't want to create
Got
some
that,
group.
been there.
But all that we all
They all have the same agenda.
same agenda and the same thing within that little clever, right? And that's
Even
nice.
his
It's
university
not-
is very different. He teaches by
He teaches,
practically
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now he is
the
starting
business
at
people, he
university.
makes them do business.
So he does, exactly. So then that is also, he said that when you study business, they have to run their business enterprises.
Once they are at university, he makes them do the business.
While they do the business, they have to be socially responsible.
So now he's saying, right, next few generations, if they don't change the education system to more conscious economics, we're going to have a major problem in 30-40 years.
Absolutely.
Like what you're saying is,
Absolutely.
it will happen,
See,
but it will happen. Start happening
It's
exponentially.
an
I
area
have,
to
I
learn.
have, I have heard.
Yeah, this is movies, right?
Go and see it.
So
Go see the universe.
what I want to say is, so much of our thinking, so much of our life, whether at a small level of why she said this to me and why she said that to me, or at a larger level, right? Whatever we are taught, we just blindly is so much influenced by people, what they tell us, what they think, what their values are, and we constantly live by that.
How do we address this thing? Like, you start with the sun, you sleep, as the sun sets. Now, all the children in America, they do all-nighters, right? You my daughter, all night they're awake, and what they're supposed to do in the morning, they're not. How do you address that issue? I mean,
See, as I keep saying, if you want everybody to change, there's never going to be a time. So let me tell you one guy. So all these kids are also learning very fast. So one of the kids, he studies in Boston, and he had come, and now he had some issues, so he was coming to me. So he says, same. I was going out for parties all night and this and that, and there is so much. Obviously, fun, right? They have fun. But he himself said, it's not sustainable. He himself right? It's not, I don't have to tell him anything. Then he says it's not sustainable because morning I'm like all totally this thing. I used to get up at 12 and then it's not really serving me. So now he himself wants to change. He says, I started going jogging because you go for a party, then you drink, then you whatever, so over a period of time, you are left with a mind which is not alert, a mind which is not functioning 100%. So please understand that you can choose the lifestyle that you want, but the universe is going to give you feedback. No, don't forget that.
You should be receptive to that feedback.
So that means at one point it will become so unsustainable. This is why so much of America is into exercises, so much of America is into eating early, so much of the US is into gymming and running and whatever, vegetarianism and all that. How did it come? Their lifestyle had reached levels that were unsustainable. They could do it. I mean, that's what we call human free will. Universe will keep giving you feedback, When you choose to learn is up to you. So
I was
that's
actually referring not to the partying scene, actually studying scene. There's
yeah, they study.
All
Whatever it is. So even studying is something which is what your
All
mind
right.
So
is
it's
the
a very
most
known fact
alert.
that if you start studying at 4:35 in the morning,
it's better.
and what you'll study in the night, late night, is completely different.
different.
How much you'll revive is completely different.
They have to change.
And they see the value of it, they do.
So that means, so what he says, even huge problems as depression and all, what we don't allow ourselves, that the sun rays have some sattvic qualities, and we don't expose ourselves around. We've created societies where we are constantly, we don't have sun anywhere. It doesn't penetrate through our systems. So that means, and that's what, we've created societies which are so unhealthy, and what happens is, then we say, oh, nowadays almost everybody has cancer, everybody has this, everybody has that. What? You have so much more money and you're all eating organic and all eating all the things. And how is it that you have the rates of diseases are so high? How? Because there is some fundamental disconnect. So this is what his talk was. That is something I thought it was really original. And really thinking about the world with his own independent way, not overcoming the